This is the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman, the podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick in a narrated format. So let's join in on the journey. Welcome to the podcast. With me, back from Waco a few days ago, is my alter ego, J.R. Hendrick. And this particular episode is called, let me see how far back we go, because this is going to be interesting in and of itself. This episode title is called, Can Good Friends Rescue from a Twisted Wreck? And really what I base this on, and I know copyright gods and all those people might be pretty mad at me, but we all know what's up. So let me make sure I got this. Let me see where this ends. Yes, here we go. So, it's 5 a.m. Betsy is out, okay, so we cut to the ranch. It's 5 a.m. and Betsy is out helping Thomas, giving 5 bulls ready to take for a rodeo in El Paso. Something though, those Presbyterians know how to get down, Betsy said with enthusiasm. I could tell that the way you and Jim were dancing together, Thomas said. And Betsy's like, I can't blame him for at least having one dance with the bride. And Amy Kathleen, she is the cutest bride. Wasn't pretty long ago. She was in leotards and tutus. And Thomas is like, well, so was Christine. And we all get older than Betsy. And Betsy's like, don't remind me. So now we cut to 6:30 a.m. And the family is sitting down for breakfast, which is blueberry muffins. Or blueberries. They set out for dinner, of course, minus J.R. And Elizabeth Marie said, I made the best blueberry muffins, no matter what. I tried. I couldn't wake him up. What's wrong with him? Elizabeth Marie asked. And Betsy's like, well, Larry Spalding's car broke down last night. So we have to get his parents to pick him up. So he's going to be asleep for a little while longer, Betsy said. And Bobby said, too bad. I wanted to talk to him about his book, Bobby said. And Christine's like, oh, it's not that much. Just something written by a dork. Christine said. And Mike Field says, Christine, can't you say anything nice? And Betsy's like, oh, it's okay, Mike. I'll just make her go to work. What do you have going on today? And, well, we have to take JR's suit back to the cleaners. That'll be about 10:30, Mike Field said. And Kevin said, meet me in town. We'll have lunch. Okay, so it's 10 a.m. And JR comes down the stairs to the living room to find the frantic Betsy. JR, you okay? And what kept you all night? Last night, I told you, Larry's car broke down. Yeah, well, this Elizabeth Haig kept calling me so far in El Paso, wondering what you guys were up to. That's my girl's pesky grandmother, and she'll take care of it. At least she better, JR said. Okay, so it's 1 p.m. Eastern, and back at his desk in Washington, D.C., Jim is preparing things for the legislative meeting on Wednesday. Jim is excited to get back to working on this legislation. Despite the fact that he still will miss Betsy. Okay, so it's 2 p.m. Central. JR is stifled by being inside the ranch house, so he goes outside with Kevin and Bobby horseback riding. Of course, Kevin and Bobby pick some horses, and JR gets banded as usual. So now we cut to the society room. It's 5 p.m. Jim warmly greets his green team and gets them ready for a 2-hour boot camp before a nice dinner. So now we go to June 11th, 1996. June 11th, 1996, we cut to, it's the next day, it's obvious. We cut to the next day. It's the Hendrick House at 14 Heritage Gate. And Jim calls his personal secretary / consultant, Kelly, into his, the upstairs balcony room for a chat. Is there something I can do? Is there something you wanted me to do for you? Kelly said. Have a brandy and sit down, Jim said. Because what I heard from my wife just makes me pissed. We better get a root beer, JR. We better get a root beer because something tells me this is a key moment. This is a key moment. I think it's like maybe in the next season we'll know some of the fruit of this. and where it leads to. Well, one thing I know is Daddy was a cunning politician, but he was a politician. He was a type of political operative that cared, but he was a cold and ruthless businessman. And as you'll see, the cold and ruthless businessman comes out here. Okay, so this is the meat of the material. So she sits down and she says, "What's going on?" Elizabeth Haig, woman has been pestering my wife about my son and her granddaughter. Now that woman is a multi-billionaire. She can hire private detectives till the cows come home to pick on anybody that's marrying into the family. Now I want to stop this. Okay, so we're going to take a drink because it's obvious Jim is concerned about his son. After she finishes her brandy, Kelly goes back into her office and calls Marv Hatfield, a private detective she knew in Dallas. So we know this is going to get ugly. Now it's 1 p.m. Central. The announcement comes on saying that American Airlines Flight 6719 was flying in from DFW Airport. At least 32 passengers get off first, and then JR recognizes Ken. I know Papa Bear usually flies his family in by private jet, but he's being El Cheapo again, Ken said. Carmen will get your bags. JR's like, Carmen, he'll get your bags. He'll take it to the ranch. Now, I got a home group Bible study tonight with Karen, Brad, and Jim Bob. So Kevin can keep you company. And Ken's like, yeah, I know. Jim Bob came in from Oklahoma yesterday, and their air conditioner is busted. He won't stop talking about it. When I was getting on the plane at the airport, Ken said. Okay, so it's 3 p.m. Central. At the ranch, JR, Ken, and Kevin get involved in a 150 freestyle swimming competition. Ken wins that one. Ken wins that one, by the way. 4:40 p.m. Eastern. The charter jet carrying the Hendrick party departs from Reagan International Airport, bound for Frankfort, Kentucky. 4:30 p.m. Central. Brad's car pulled up into the drive at the ranch house, and JR gets in. And Jim Bob starts talking right away. I mean, can you believe it? The day after Eliza gets her nursing degree. We're snowed in. We had to stay for 3 days. And then come home and the air conditioner is out. My aunt called Wonder Plumbing. But Lord knows how long it'll take. And Easter just keeps yammering. I mean, we are members of the Goldstone Country Club. We have better treatment than this. We deserve better treatment than this. So he just keeps on yammering. Jim Bob. Jim Bob, hey, buddy. We're going to have to do something about that and just go ahead and give you a bell. I mean, yeah, Gerald just got some of his convention in Waco. Let him talk about his convention in Waco. Otherwise, shut up. Yeah, that's right, Gerald. I don't blame you getting the bell. Okay, so now it's 7 p.m. Eastern. Jim is speaking at a Republican rally for Senator Mitch McConnell, who is running for a third term. Now, it's 7 p.m. Central at Dr. Michelle's house. The home group Bible study is, the topic is, of course, about salvation. Now, 9:50 p.m. Eastern. The plane carrying the Hendrick party taxis down the runway and leaves Frankfurt bound for Washington, D.C. 11 p.m. Central. JR and Ken are both talking. JR tells Ken about Brad would be picking him up at 2 in the afternoon the next day, and probably would not be back at the ranch until 8:30. So there we go. Now, for some reason we lost our but we'll get it. Here we go. June 12th. It's 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, it's at an office building in downtown D.C. In Washington, D.C., Jim presents to the EAA his legislative agenda for the summer, namely faith-based resources for small business and a Jobs Protection Act for small business. Now, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We're on Clinton time. The Oval Office. President Clinton calls in Leon Drew and Dick Morris for a quick meeting. And the president's like, okay, what's the latest on Hendrick? I did my part by campaigning last weekend in Princeton with Hillary. What else is going on? And so Leon Drew, he's like, well, he was given a taped interview in his home for the Less is More radio show, but it won't be released until the 24th of June. Meantime, he's out with Claire Luss, Leon Drew said. And the president's like, when is he going to get tired of her using him on behalf of her husband and give her the ditch? The president said, putting a cigar in his mouth. And Dick Morris speaks up. He says, the point, Mr. President, you and Hillary need to do some campaigning in July, or at least presenting yourself together in Washington, D.C. As the united couple, because I get the feeling that Hendrik is going to keep asking, kissing away at Whitewater. No, Clinton said, taking the cigar out of his mouth. No, I think in July, he ain't going to have the time. He's going to be too busy fighting Congress on some budget matters in order to pass his provisions. And Leon says he could turn into an ally. He's not on the side on the side yet. As he's not on a side as opposed to support Leon Drew's side, said. And President Clinton says, not a chance. He's got a little over 3 months left. And there's no way in hell he's going to support me having returned to the White House. Okay, so now it is 2:30 p.m. Central. And this, I tell you something. These Wednesday scenes are very cheesy. So JR and Brad arrive at Karen's, and they're bringing in Taco Villa. And Karen's like, I told you, I'm sick of Taco Villa. Look, at least I get that you're up to 92 pounds. And Brad's like, look, at least I know you're getting up to 92 pounds, but seriously, what are you going to be doing sitting there eating fish and rice all the time? Karen. And, he's kind of like just badgering her. And Karen's like, FYI, Brad, Donald and I had a lovely weekend in Madison, Wisconsin. And he told me he loves me just the way I am. You go, girl. Kristen, she and I went away for a weekend for a convention in Waco. And we confess that we have the same type of love. And love each other just the way we are. Man, I really have to hear it from both of you. Brad said, okay, Brad. Thanks for being dumb and reactive. You get the bell. Sometimes these Brad and Jim Bob scenes are not my favorites. And so and Gerald's like, Brad, Stop having the damn jealous bone. J.R. shot back at him. Okay, so it's 3 p.m. Eastern. Jim is meeting with his dream team in a society room, preparing for Jim's mass media day tomorrow in the mansion. Okay, so it's 4 p.m. Central. At the mansion, Christine is talking to Ken and Dave. So glad you came to straighten him out, Ken, Christine said. I just wish he wouldn't spend so much time with that nerd Brad and that dork Jim Bob, Christine said. Jim Bob's not that bad unless he's telling secrets. Brad, I can tolerate if he can lose his attitude. Now, I agree with Ken over that. In fact, we're going to have a drink to that one. Our pancreases are going to hate it. Yeah, they are. Okay. And Dave's like, because Davis, I think he's pretty sick of it. You know, her complaining about brother. I said, look, we have another summer cotillion tonight at 6. So let's get ready. Okay, so it's 6:30 p.m. Central. JR sits patiently and listens to Brad's choir practice, which have a mixture of some gospel music about Zion and some patriotic music. 9 p.m. JR arrives back at the ranch where Betsy met him. And Betsy says, Madison and Rachel are going to be coming by tomorrow. And the family is going to be watching the movie Tornado Land. You're going to watch the movie with us. I'm sure they're like, oh, great. 11:30 p.m. JR laid down for some shut-eye and had a flashback dream May 7th, 1985. May 17th, 1985. Okay, so I gotta close this for the time being and look at the voice. Check on the big phone. It's gonna take some time, and I apologize. You boys better get in the kitchen and sit down. Your granddad needs to talk to you. Thomas? Junior? Yes, Granddad? Yeah, Granddad, what's up? Thomas, when your dad came to visit, a few months later ago, he showed me a pie chart of some things he's investing in the stock market. Now, I know that Bitch is getting carried away with that. Your mama's getting carried away with that, Junior, because your daddy's going to Nashville. It's about time I teach you guys your first lesson in financial literacy, if you don't know what I mean. Yes, Granddad. Sure thing, Granddad. You're going to invest in stocks. Yeah, you don't have a widespread portfolio like Tom, like your dad does, or JR, like I feel like your father's about to do. The most you invest in is like 5 stocks, companies you know you can trust. You buy them suckers low, and then you find a way to sell high. I've been told by this Christian school teacher in 8th grade that she told you wrong. You invest like in a small portfolio. The rest of it you put in solid assets, precious metal, oil, real estate. I don't manage my taxes when it comes to stock. Mike Fields does that. One time he's having to gather around Junior with your daddy up there in Nashville. Yeah, I know. Kevin Hayes having to play cleanup a lot. Well, boy, you're going to learn something. I say you do only a small bundle of stocks if you even going to play that anymore. It's like either playing blackjack or Russian roulette. You got to take a calculated risk. The day's coming, boy, when I'll teach you how to make that risk, both of you. Thank you, Granddad. I'll listen to you two. Junior, I know your daddy don't like talking about money. He turns it into a damn competition. And Thomas, I know your daddy ain't afraid to talk about money. Use it in investment wisely. I have to be the balance between the two of them. Money ain't everything. The Bible says love of it is the root of all evil. Don't you forget that. Come here, Tom. Come on, Junior. I love you, boy. You too, Thomas. Don't forget what we talked about. Okay. So, now we can go back. Forgive me. All this back and forth. It takes patience. But I wanted to put that in there. It seemed like a good flashback dream. And it kind of compensates from Brad and Jim Bob's yammering. Okay, so it's 9 a.m. Central, Thursday morning. Betsy has finished milking the cows. She instructed Thomas to have a crew to take the herds over to the South 13 to graze. Now, it's 11 a.m. Central. Nothing would do but that the whole family had to watch tornado land. And to keep JR's mind at ease, Ken sat beside him. 1 p.m. Eastern. On the house inside balcony of 14 Heritage Gate, Jim is being interviewed for the Less is More show. The show will not be released until 24th. Okay, so it's 3 p.m. Central. At the ranch, J.R. Ken, Kevin McDonald, and Dave Smith are in a 100 freestyle race in the ranch's indoor swimming pool. 5 p.m. Eastern. Jim is sitting quietly in the front lounge when Clara walks in. We didn't get too much of a chance to talk when I arrived yesterday. So many damn society dinners for my boring husband. Dinner tonight is filet mexicana. I hope you don't mind. Tomorrow I go to meet with some consultants and then get ready for the rally Saturday in Cleveland, Jim said. I'll have to leave from Cleveland Sunday morning. Henry wants me back for another dull society dinner and some campaigning clothes. Don't think you can keep staying here just to pick information from me, Jim said. Yeah, I think Jim's pretty angry. So now it's 9 p.m. Central, and so tornado warnings were in Ector, Midland, and Ridgewood counties. Ken had begged for the team of friends to go with the rest of the family to Kyle's house. However, being trained by his grandfather, instinctively knew what they were to do. And so he and his friends went down to the cellar. I'm sorry, Kenny, but I can't sit around and watch Kyle talk down to me, Kara said. And Dave's like, he does have a point. When I came to the ranch in February 93, he was yelling at JR, cursing him out. No one should tolerate that. Hats off to Dave. Let's have a drink. And Kevin McDonald said, all Kenny and I are saying is he's your brother. Your family. You should be able to work something out. And, of course, Jared's like, no. I'd be in a twisted wreck. Have to sit there and watch tornado land. And then we get the damn warning. And because of that poor Andrew was scared out of his mind. Kyle puts fear in those boys. I don't think that's necessarily right, Jared said. And Dave said, hey, at least we're here. I have a feeling it'll all crowd out at Kyle's place. Anyway, okay. So, and scene. I have to give this episode a 3.3 root beers. Sometime in a comfy storm cellar during a tornado warning. And a swimming competition in the pool. Number Jail. Well, I guess I'll have to give it a rating as well. I'm gonna call it, really and truthfully, I'm gonna give it 3.3 root beers. Some horseback riding, and that good time in the cellar, a comfy storm cellar during a tornado warning, with a backup generator. Granddad always insisted in the backup generator. And there we go. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to get more interesting from here.